Talk to me.
Hi everybody, it's your girl Selena Joy coming at you with another YouTube video, and today's topic I just wanted to get into because I just finished an episode on my conspiracy podcast, and it was something that came up at the end of the video, and I just felt like it would work perfectly for this page. I just wanted to give some advice for women who are in my industry who are breastfeeding and who are stylists, and then also just women who are just like coming off of having a baby, and what my experience was like, and what I wish I would have understood more about postpartum when that happened to me so that I could have dealt with it in a little bit of a better way. So my experience was not so good. Being a stylist and being a breastfeeding mom is probably two things that absolutely do not go together at all, not even a little bit. People are just very rude and very inconsiderate to a breastfeeding mom and her needs, especially when you work a job. And it's understandable. It is what it is, but you have to make it work for you. So the best three things that I could say about that would be your diet has to be in alignment. You need to be eating your vitamins, drinking hella water, eating oatmeal, eating fish, eating all the things that you know your body needs to be able to produce. Number two, you need to manage your emotions and your stress levels, because you will literally stress yourself out to not being able to make milk anymore. So that means when you're having a difficult day at work, or clients are just being clients, because people are imperfect, you need to be able to manage your emotions in a way that you can calm yourself. There's a lot of ways to do that. You could do breath work, you could do yoga, you could stretch, you can reach out to a therapist, talk to a therapist about whatever you're experiencing. Like, honestly, the stress that your body feels when you're trying to produce milk is probably the worst thing to take away from your lactation. It's like the stress of making sure that you have enough is what's going to cause you to not make enough. So it's in your head, and if you allow it to take over, it will absolutely have a big effect on the way that you're producing milk for your child. So like, if it's not relevant to like real life, why are you stressing about it in the first place? Relax, take a breather, stretch, drink some water, have a cup of coffee, do whatever you got to do. Just relax. Don't allow the stress overload of your work to be a burden to where it's going to stop you or impair you from being able to make milk. And thirdly, this is a lot easier said than done, but you have to be on a strict pumping cycle. That means that the way you put your book together has to be cohesive with your pumping cycle. You need to make sure there are breaks in your book. I don't care. Fuck them clients. To be able to pump for at least 15 minutes. If you have a 8-hour shift and you are aware that you will be a breastfeeding mother, you need to let it be known well before you come back to work that absolutely every 2 to 4 hours I will be taking a 15-minute break to pump, and if you don't like it, then I will be finding another job. Don't conform to these people, because they do not care, and they will let you dry up and not care about you. Like, honestly, those are the three things. And I'm gonna add one more. As a matter of fact, this is gonna be a 4-part thing. Let that baby eat. Every second of every minute of every day that you have with that child, put that child on that titty. Because the more your body is being told that it has to produce, the more that it will produce. And the more longevity you'll be able to get out of your time breastfeeding. And then also, I wanted to just talk about postpartum a little bit, because now that I'm in the space that I'm in now and I understand the things that I understand now, I look at it so much differently. So, of course, like everything I tell people, your relationship with God has to be the center of absolutely everything. Because if God is not the center of absolutely everything, a lot of things in life are going to be hard for you. That's just what it is. So, that's first of all, having your spiritual health intact, making sure you're connected to God, making sure you're praying, making sure that you're aligned with Him so that your household can flow properly. That's where it starts, first of all. And second of all, I'm going to tell you like this. Really, postpartum is like a vitamin, mineral, magnesium deficiency that we feel physiologically and mentally and chemically and hormonally. So when you have a baby, I believe it's oxytocin and dopamine that are like up to here. And then the second you give birth, they just drop. So the challenge is being able to balance your hormones, make sure you're making enough to kind of get back what was depleted in the birthing process. And then also, especially if you're breastfeeding on top of that, giving your body enough so that where it's able to produce more. So that means to continue to take your multi. And like I said, I'm gonna just say this. I'm not a doctor. This is just me speaking on my experience. I've been wanting to make these videos for so long, and it's just not a topic that's ever come out with all the 200 and some videos I've made. So we talked about it a little bit after the podcast today, so I just wanted to share this with y'all, or I felt like I was never going to do it. But yeah, making sure you're taking a multivitamin, you're taking magnesium, you're taking a probiotic, you're taking drinking plenty of water, and you want to really focus your diet in a way that is going to fuel your body, because that's the problem. You're low in iron right now, you're deficient in vitamins, your hormones are imbalanced, and the best way to get your hormones rebalanced is by having a healthy gut, having mental clear, like your mental is very clear. And you do that through your diet. You want to make sure you're incorporating a lot of mushrooms like shiitake, lion's mane, reiki, because those are really good for mental clarity. You want to make sure you're taking a good amount of protein from clean sources that are being caught properly and fed properly, like lean meats that are, not being raised on farms that are feeding them certain things as opposed to others. Cage-free eggs, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of lean. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been recording for hours at this point. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna edit this out, because this is the reality of being a creative content creator who is a mother and a wife and works and has a business. Like, I'm always trying to do a million things, so bear with me. But you get what I'm trying to say. We in this together. Yeah. So green leafy vegetables is what I was trying to say. And that's spirulina, spinach, kale, collards. Those right there are gonna be your omega. Like, that's your alpha and the end all, the be all, because that in and of itself has so much of what your body is gonna need. It's not even funny. And also, I really like salmon. Has a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, like a lot of things that you need, and it's not harsh on your body. Very rich in protein, very rich in fatty acids that your baby's gonna need, folic acid. And honestly, like, a lot of things in life just come down to your emotional management. And it's the hardest thing to do when you just had a baby, because of your hormonal overload, because of the experience that you just had that nobody really talks about or tells you about or prepares you for. So you really just want to mentally lock in before you have said child, because you have to understand that this is a lifestyle change. You're not going to be the same person. So in order to kind of prevent postpartum, you have to understand that it's not all rainbows. There's going to be days where you feel down because your hormones are like tanked because you just had a baby and your body is depleted and you're trying to get back to yourself, but yourself isn't yourself because you're now a mother, or now you have multiple children. And just understanding that you have to embrace this whole thing full-heartedly and understand it's not going to be perfect, but at the end of every day, when you look at that baby, it's so worth it. Like, there's good days, there's bad days, there's in-betweens, and you just have to fall in love with all of it. You have to fall in love with being sick and having to take care of other people because that's what you chose to do. Like, there's really no advice to give people to be like, yeah, this is how you don't experience postpartum. This is how you don't experience having emotional or bad days as a woman, being as though we are emotional beings and that's just part of our nature. No, you have to embrace them. You have to understand yourself well enough to know what your body needs, because all of our bodies are different, but we're just kind of like similar in the same outlines and guides for all of us. And you have to implement these habits: waking up, praying, fasting, drinking water, taking your vitamins, making sure you're working out, making sure you're doing the things that your body needs to feel good, going out, getting sunlight, meditating. If you consistently start to bring these into your everyday, I promise you, your experience with postpartum will either be very limited, your body will bounce back a lot faster because you will be giving yourself what you need in the first place so that you don't have the chemical overload, the emotional overload that's caused by the hormonal overload that's probably because your gut health isn't right. You will be able to bypass all of that just by like taking these steps and making sure you're pouring into yourself Like, mothers forget, like, you have to take care of you. And there's a lot of self-care and self-love that goes into these things in order to maintain a healthy mental space so that you can be your absolute best. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And if that means that baby has to go into the cradle for an hour before you can take a shower and shave and wash your hair and meditate and pray and have a cup of coffee, then that means that's what you got to do. You understand? Take care of you. If you don't take care of you, you will not be good for anybody else. That is how you prevent the overload of what people call postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. It is you not taking care of yourself. Your body is in need of certain nutrients that you're not getting. Your emotional overload is occurring because your hormonal balance is so out of freaking whack. Okay, get those things together. Work out, meditate, pray, connect to God, connect to your child, embrace motherhood. A lot of people are sitting in a space where they decided to become mothers and they're not enjoying it. Why are you a mom if you don't want to enjoy it? And that's not for me to come at you. That's for me to shift your paradigm and shift your perspective. Because why did you bring people here if you didn't want to bring people here? It's common sense at this point. If you need help, seek help. Go see a therapist. These things are okay. But, these are just my little tips and tricks. If you're a breastfeeding mom, you're working stylist like I was, you want to make sure that you are adequately pumping, your diet is on point, your stress levels are maintained, and you letting that baby eat because that's how you're going to keep up with your supply. And the ideology behind postpartum, a lot of it is mineral, iron, vitamin deficiency. So now you're emotionally out of control, you're hormonally out of control. So you have to really, really put into yourself and refuel yourself after having the baby so that you can give back. Because when you have that experience, you don't understand that your body just depleted itself to literally create life. So you have to replenish what you just took out. And it's crazy that a lot of us are not taught that. We have kids and we think that our bodies just naturally go back like boom, like that, like nothing. No, you just created life. And now you have to give life back to yourself so that you can pour into the life that you bring here. But yeah, clearly very passionate about this because I want to help y'all. So I hope you guys like my little rant that I just went on. I hope you got something out of it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share.